Welcome back to the channel everyone, Nova Zane on the mic. We covered Vegito Blue's pressure and mix-ups recently, so it's only right to take a look at Vegito now. There's a lot to go over, but I try my best to focus on his key points. After learning his fundamental structure, you'll be able to create your own setups since he does allow for creativity and flexibility. Let's start with establishing his universal pressure. His 5L stagger is amazing because it's a multi-hitting 5L that's negative 5 on block. Its spacing is what makes it a great reset point. This makes it great to drain your opponent's mental resources because they will feel like they've been blocking for a long time and will want to escape. This is where going into 5L to frame trap comes in, or 2M, etc. Once you've established this respect, overload the 5L with 6M, DRs, and more, just like any other character. Just be careful because his 5L is long enough to allow them to get ready and set up for defense, so they'll be more ready to tech a DR and block a 6M compared to a regular quick 5L into those options. After 5L, your greatest pressure reset points to remain ambiguous are 5LL, 2L, which actually doesn't hit low, 5M, 2S, 5S, and 6S. 2M and 5H are both bad pressure enders, and be careful with 2S since it whiffs from far away. It usually hits after 5M and 2M though. 2S itself serves as a tight frame trap, sometimes, and his S's are good stagger points since you can frame trap 5H after them. They're safe so you can hold back into 5L to reset pressure and create good spacing. Vegito's key overload during his pressure though is going into his amazing left-rights, which we will go into later on. He probably has the best left-right in the game. He has access to reverse speed into 2L after landing M's, which is very strong because it slides you back forward, which is great to confirm pressure if you make contact with your long range 5M in neutral as a poke. It allows you to get back into 5L pressure. So it's useful after his spacing pressure strings to get back in. We will go over these later. And 2L has so much block zone that it jails into vanish to extend your turn. There's a small gap that's reflectable against 2L per super dash though, but it does frame trap 2 H's. Please don't vanish after anything else like 236S or 5S because they do not jail. You'd waste a bar against a good player. As mentioned before, it's easier to identify options after his 5L since it's expected and gives opponents time to think. So to mix it up, you should incorporate DRs after his M's, after spacing situations, and even with dashes after 5L if they're blocking you all day, especially in the corner where defenders seem to be most comfortable. Mix in dash DRs with dash 2Ms and your other options. Where Vegito shines is that you never really know when he'll end his turn. He can end and retreat on safe normals, and after his normals and depending on the distance, he can always fit in a safe 5S, 6S, 2S, etc. to end or reset his turn. This is why I don't recommend using his 236 kicks series. Opponents can easily guard cancel the kicks, giving them a free escape, and they know that's the end of their turn, so it's not very useful in pressure. His other tools keep him much more ambiguous, but kicks does have the benefit of keeping him at a safe distance mid-screen though, so even if they challenge you can always punish. Speaking of guard cancel, barrier, which is 214S, can be used during the multi-hitting 5L to beat guard cancel options on reaction. It doesn't result in much blue life. You can cancel 5L with 2H, but do not let them guard cancel your 5L for free. When you IAD in for an overhead, IAD JH, J236S frame traps and is plus 10-ish on block like your normal IAD JH. It can be hard to confirm if they get frame trap though. A trick that helps you to confirm is to hold up JL after J236S, but if they block it then you just look weird. Mid-screen you can vanish, and vanishing is more flexible than jump JL in the corner, gives you more time to react. And dash drum JL is possible this game, but is very unrealistic on reaction. J236S keeps you safe after super dash if they decide to try, and 5L actually beats it if they're late. Hold back before pressing L just in case though. It's still plus after reflex, keeping you churn, and can bait it if they're mash and reflect too late since it is a key blast property move. It's also safe against reversals, and you might as well do it because there's no consequences and it does have some benefits. Vegito is one of the best at pressuring from far away. Although some normals bring him very close to the opponent, stringing into something else allows him to space himself out. Certain strings allow him to reach a sweet spot, as Clayton has broken down before. Huge shout out to him. This sweet spot can be achieved with strings such as max 5H into 6S, or more practical, max 5M from neutral into 6S, 5H, 5S. And after a JH cross-up, go into J236S, 5M, 6S, 5H, 5S. 2L, 5L, 5S, although it doesn't keep you as far away, and more. Note that the normals from this range usually improve in frame data and become less negative. The sweet spot prevents them from challenging you with a normal or super dash. It's always risky to try and challenge before 6S, but you'd be safe anyways. These strings also allow you to go into 5LL 6F by slightly holding forward right before 5LL on the first hit. This 6M from far is plus on block and can be looped into itself multiple times without holding forward. Of course, when you're plus, you can extend your turn how you like. Be ready to bait out reflex and DPs though. And since they expect more 6M since you can loop it, make sure to rotate your options around to maintain ambiguity with 2Ms, DRs, etc. and by resetting your strings at different points to catch them off guard. And at the max end range of a sweet spot, you can set up safe 236S that's not super dashable on reaction due to the distance. If they do, Vegito has his amazing options after a block super dash, like J214H grab that beats most things, his kicks, JS, etc. If they block, land into 5M into another sweet spot range. Or IDJH high. If you become too predictable, they can super dash after the 6S and before the 226S, but we went over that. Getting the max spacing for safe 236S is a bit more difficult to get without mini walkbacks, but opponents are usually hesitant to regard it. You can also get into very safe 236L setups, which also give you great spacing to whiff punch. Or you can use the spacing to set up 5H6S 236S strings and 5L6M plus range strings. Usually you'll get the whiff punish ones since they'd be eager to challenge after the kicks, but be careful because it's harder to be ambiguous after using these kicks. 5M, 2M, 2S into 5L string doesn't push you as far back, but it does keep you far enough to enter the 5L 6M string, or get into another string to reach the sweet spot. Like 5L 6S, 236L into 5H 6S, 236S, which always works. It's also another easier pattern to get into to maintain ambiguity along with a 5H frame trap after 2S. These far spacings allow you to shimmy safely. Shimmies accomplish a lot of things. They allow you to move into their range, baiting them into jabbing, but quickly moving out of it to punish them. They make your opponents impatient on defense, making them want to jump or escape the pressure since they see you shimmying. They bait out defensive options since opponents might panic. You can quickly change pace in order to land hard to tech DRs. It allows you to set up other manual spacing strings, and more. A more simple shimmy is a slight walk back into 5L resets by just holding back and delaying your 5L so that it keeps on pushing you further and further away. This slowly puts you into a sweet spot while keeping you safe. Backdashes are a form of shimmies that give them a visual gap, which baits them into trying to escape your infinite pressure. His amazing 5M here could frame trap them, or you could 214H to read a jump or something. When you reach the corner, you can 2-up vanish and go into the straight, repeat the sweet spot string if you're struggling to open them up. Or try to go into a 2-up super dash RPS situation, which has advantages over some characters. Besides that, in the corner, you need to rely on shimmies, 2-up delay 5L, manual walkout 5Ls alongside 6S to create spaced out strings. As stated earlier, Vegito can implement his left-right alongside his frame traps after his normals. This is his go-to mix-up since it's so strong. To cross up during his 5L and 5M, hold 9 into dash macro when you see Vegito jumping into JH for a very quick cross up. A slight delay for the JH will help prevent it from working like this. And for the same side, hold 9 plus delay JS the same side sword. Combo with super dash. Both can hit on the same frame, which is why this mix-up is so strong. Doing IEDJS for the same side can make it look more like a cross-up by holding 7 into 4 plus dash macro, but you lose your double jump so you get less damage. You want the same side to be right above them and not too slow to remain ambiguous. This is very strong since you can do it solo after 5L and 5M if you condition them with frame traps. And if you're far enough, like after a far 5M, you can cross up JL, which is faster than JH, making it a harder left-right to deal with. You could essentially rotate between 5L frame trap, 5L cross up, 5L same side for the entire game, or you could always do them after an assist to make it safer if you don't want to risk engaging in pressure, and a lot of them can give you the good 5L cross up. Note, you do get the easier IED cross JS if you're afraid of 2H or something, but you get much less reward after hitting JS. You could also do this left-right after 2-up vanish. This is helpful to steal the corner and to schmix them when they're blocking you. But when they see the vanish, they'll be ready for potential left-right, so many people decide to either mash or dash block, which beats the setup. To beat the mash, rotate in vanish 5L sometimes, and to beat the dash blocks, mix in some 2Ms or DRs. The same thing applies after level 3 where you can whiff a vanish into this mixed mind game. In addition, 2H plus 236S with assist can give you a similar left-right, early air dash for cross up JH, and late air dash for same side. JL doesn't work because there's too much recovery after the 236S. For every JS mix situation, don't press super dash too early and wait slightly to confirm. If they block, you want to do J236X series to escape the situation, or J226S to frame trap and pretend to chase. Super dashing on block is a bad habit that can be punished. And be careful of Zamasu that can 2H both sword and JH on his reaction to each other, but he's the only special one. As mentioned earlier, 5L DR is slower than desired, making it easier for opponents to react to. But we can actually use that to our advantage and create an advanced DR crush mix. As discussed in my DR crush video, once they are able to react to the green flash of the DR, mix them up by using an EX move like his 214H grab. The red flash with a similar shape will make them think it's a DR and they will try to tech it. Make sure you wait for the 5L to finish before doing the grab to mimic the similar timing. You can punish this on reaction with different options. If you call an assist with his DR clip, the assist can punish it more easily and also helps to punish if they tech with a quick recovering normal like 2-0. Assists that hit them in place and defensive ones are best for this. You can also cancel 5-0 earlier plus assist to safely bait out matches as well, but this isn't as useful since it doesn't mimic the Dragon Rush's timing. As a bonus, this grab deals with jumps in case they hold up. This DR pressure is very strong in the corner, since all defenders think they need to look out for is DR and 6M, so they're more primed to react to a DR, and you get a better punish. Alternating between 5-0 DR and 5-0 2-1-4H can make Vegito very hard to deal with, especially against good players. Mid-screen, you can use the L and M versions for left-right mix, but it's not as good due to the spacing. And since Vegito crosses up quite quickly, you can call an assist right as you cross up to hit them on the other side. Just note that the same side assist is not a strong option because if you call the assist earlier, defenders can block this assist by holding either side. By altering assist timings around and splitting towards them due to the new special move super jump changes, you can get a sneakier left-right, earlier timing for same side and normal timing for crossover. But essentially the DR clip is its strongest mix with the grab. I never see this being spoken about, but Vegito's 5-0 auto combo has a grab on the third hit, like Zamasu, Majin Buu, UI, etc. So with low blocks and assists, you can get this grab to land an opponent's new string. Different assists have different timings, but you should call them when the first hit of his auto combo is ending and slightly delay the third L. What happens is that the assist overrides the block sign of Vegito's 5-0, allowing his third hit to actually grab him. The mix here after the assist is doing 5LL to grab, or 5LL to M to frame trap, giving him a 50-50. Although it does use an assist, if they block the 2M, you can get right into Vegito's amazing pressure. And it works great in the corner as well without having to spend meter. The only issue is that if they do commit to your grab option, you get punished, so the 2M is safer and can be tricky to always get the timing right, so make sure to practice this. Gotcha! And that about wraps it up. There's a lot more we could get into in terms of this pressure and mix-up, but those are basically the fundamental things that you should learn before trying to advance these concepts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something new today. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and let me know what you thought of the video. See you guys next time.